Welcome back to the deciding game in the series between Team Dignitas and Team Liquid. We did hear about player of the game before for Golden Glue, but an honorable mention has to be given for Lolo, who was really the guy benefiting from a lot of the fights that were getting started, just cleaned up almost every late game engagement.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about being able to set it up with the Talia wall, and they funneled a lot of the fights into these jungle corridors, allowing him to get off really big equalizers. So a lot of clutch plays and a lot of damage done by him in these team fights to really get Team Liquid set up to the place where they were with that almost like 10,000 gold lead at one point. Before they lost it inside the base. Regardless, though, I mean, ended up going with the Golden Glue because of the early plays that he made roaming around. So crucial to, you know, getting Team Liquid to that phase, even though he did get caught out quite a few times with ash arrows and flashes and things like that.
Yeah, and for Dig, I mean, picking a good lane there for Someday, but not able to get quite the same advantage that he was in game number one with kind of the more lopsided Fiora into tank this time in that game Gragas matchup that he played in the first one. So a couple changes actually for Dig. They'll actually be subbing Chaser back in to the lineup. So the, I guess, split starting jungler will be making his way back in. They did, of course, play a lot of games with him in the spring season. So kind of interesting to see them bring Chaser in for this final game.
Yeah, they still definitely have a tremendous amount of faith in Chaser. Both of the junglers proficient, and it's been mostly surrounding that communication aspect they talked about as far as the other substitutes. So definitely excited to see what Chaser can bring to the table. He had actually a pretty good ending even to Spring Split and was performing quite well. So we'll see what the different look comes up this time around. Sometimes it's even a benefit as far as like talking to the coach for a longer time during the games, watching and kind of analyzing the enemy's tendencies. But we shall see. It's not too much of a champion pool thing or anything like that.
No.
Mostly just, player mentality.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I find interesting is like, sure, you are kind of coming in cold, which could be a little tough, but I mean, Chaser's played many games of League of Legends in his life. I don't think he'll be, not feel warmed up or anything. Of course, going to be on stage now, start up his stuff, make sure the settings are right, and that should be about all the warm-up he needs. And I think at some point like this, when you just have to win one game to clinch a series for your team, bringing in a new player kind of helps that. You kind of revitalize some of the momentum, make sure you get that started for yourself. And Chaser, of course, an excellent player, and despite Shrimp having some great highs, Chaser maybe the more talented player. It's very hard to say given the few games we've seen from both of them this split, but to play with them longer might just be a bit more consistent.
And meanwhile, on Team Liquid's side, after that last game, they're definitely feeling very good about the early game. The proactive plays they were able to pull off, the focus on the game plan heading into the game from actual champion select. They continually are drafting this Karma and Caitlyn lane now that they kind of adopted from Envy. So that's a point of pressure for them to work off. And, Reignover did have a couple of ganks in mid, a couple of ganks in top, but they really found their success when getting Reignover and Golden Glue to prey off of the pushing lane in the bottom side. Golden Glue definitely in high spirits right now. I'm not sure. Is there a bug on the screen or something?
Might be.
Flick that fly.
Wrong kind of bug. He's a strong guy. Just don't punch on cameras. That'd actually be bad. But I'm sure we'll get to with whatever he's looking at. I think the thing for me that does translate to play, at least for Golden Glue in the series, and I was class of their series yesterday, so I think it's kind of even evident from that. This idea that, when Golden Glue kind of dies early, like, it seems like mentally he just shuts down. And that's true for a lot of the emotionally volatile players on Team Liquid. But even in that game, like, he did make some mistakes. Like, getting killed there in the mid lane, too early on some of flanks and some plays, like, that's not great stuff. But I have no idea what's happening, by the way. I'm very curious to see if we can find out what's going on.
I know he's trying to fix it with a water bottle cap, whatever the problem is.
Oh!
It is the bug. Ha! We found him. Oh, he's a bug lover. He does not want to squish the bug. Save a life today.
All right. And that was it. Yep.
The lifespan of those things are probably, another 2 weeks anyway.
One of the refs escorts it away, and we're all good to go.
Golden bug.
All right. That is the only life he'll save now. Everyone else must die.
Oh, well, will he save a life of someone in the game?
I mean, maybe his teammates. Certainly
Galio.
not Dignitas.
It's the Galio going to come in.
It's all for
Heroic Golden Glue saves the... I didn't see what it was. Maybe it was like a spider or something.
It's a fly.
It didn't fly at all, though.
It's struggling.
Regardless, we got him out of here, baby. Mission accomplished. No animals were harmed here at the LCS filming today.
That's good. I have to put that disclaimer now every time we start the show. Like I was saying, I think, yeah, Golden Glue, his play just seemed a lot better.
There's another one.
Game. Oh, my goodness, he's being attacked.
Dude, why do you have bugs all over you?
It's tough, man. Everyone's targeting you. The enemy mid laner, enemy jungler, League of Legends community.
Look at Piglet. He's like, come on, man. Clean it up.
I've been getting ganked since 2013. You'll be fine. Well, until Chaser comes to your lane.
Spider attack.
If he can survive that, he can surely survive Chaser subbing in, right?
Surely. Jungle pressure is nothing compared to real life.
And before Chaser gets
Swarm
the
of
lease, that's a real
insects.
life bug attack in the mid lane. Could be a bad time.
All right. Whew. After that traumatizing emotional event, we'll see if Team Liquid can recover here. This is the defining game in the series, Pastry.
Talk about mental strength.
Always comes down to number 3.
It's important. Again, got to steal your mentality. The elements are attacking you. The local fauna. And of course, soon Team Dignitas Chaser still readying up on stage. Kind of curious to see if we have any more adjustments in draft. I think Liquid got a lot of mileage out of banning those key split pushes away from Someday, putting them on something more like the Renekton, setting up Lolo significantly more for success with that Rumble matchup. And of course, the assistance from both Golden Glue and Rainover was helpful. For me, I've seen a lot of strength in kind of Rainover getting a good champion and kind of having the lanes be even and give Golden Glue a way to help affect the early game. So we'll see if they stick to that blueprint or if they have something else in mind. And Dignitas, especially with Chaser coming in off the bench, will be fresh, but does he bring a new angle of attack for the team? We'll find out now in Champ Select as LeBlanc and Zach will continue to be banned away. There's Zaya also banned by Dignitas, so Zaya Rakan effectively cut off for Liquid as well.
And they've been pretty happy to just go back to the Caitlyn and Karma. And, to Piglet's credit, right? He didn't make like a lot of show-stopping plays aside from, being called out for both flashes forward, one very good, one very bad. But he had by far the most damage in the team. And him back on Caitlyn, back on these hyper carries for the late game, that does give you confidence for the DPS in your late game. So, banning out the Zyra, I don't think Team Liquid actually is too sad about that, because as we saw yesterday, even though they're happy to pick that combo, they actually didn't have a tremendous amount of success with it. They were able to get some kills and some playmaking there, but the Caitlyn and Karma is just so reliable for pretty much everybody to be able to push down, have wave control in your lane, and try and make plays off bottom side.
You can see very similar looking bans for both these teams to kind of see throughout the series. So Elise was first pick, Caitlyn Gragas once more actually. So it looks like they're going to steal that one away. Could be for Rainover like we've seen, but with Fiora banned away, this pick probably feels a bit more comfortable for Lolo.
Yeah, could be. That was their run in game number 1. Let's see if Team Dignitas actually take away the Karma. Zyra is also a very good, long, strong laning support as well, though. So could slot that one in instead if it is taken away.
Did feel like the overall pressure that Piglet Matt had in that 2v2 was a bit better, but they are going to go back to Ashe Zyra. Certainly the team fighting looked very good for Dignitas. Very adept for Lot and Big on both their champions. Golden Glue going to flash Zed. Don't think we'll be seeing that one at least picked right now. But, one of those things where I feel like we slowly see Golden Glue play more carries as the game goes on. There's actually Olaf for Rainover.
They don't pick up the support role here, so I kind of expect Team Dignitas to ban out at least the Karma, if not 2 support bans in the second round.
I think safe bans here for them. If they do want to go that route, something like Karma and Thresh, taking those away from Matt might be quite good. I'll see what Liquid want to ban here. Renekton, so actually targeting the top lane matchup.
Well, yeah, we definitely know what the front line is here for Team Liquid. Rainover back on his classic Olaf. A lot of games played on that champion for him.
Certainly, I think that last Elise game, his Olaf games have been his most impressive to me in recent memory. So I like to pick up a lot for Liquid. I mean, he usually eats a ton of jungle bans. The Dignitas will actually ban the Talia, so I'm going to take that one away.
I think I like it. Golden Glue, we talked about how big the early game was and the roams, the effectiveness of the roams that he was able to get off. So I think it's a worthy ban here. Not going to be available. See what he will default back to now after that one's gone. Orianna is, of course, still up, but so is the Syndra, which has not popped up.
Jace was the other ban for Liquid, so again targeting strong solo in and could have very well been Sunday's champion. Ari the next ban there for Dignitas, so kind kind of leaving Syndra and Ori both open. If Team Liquid kind of want to pinch in that lane, Golden Glue could take Syndra right now, or they can kind of leave it if he has counter picks prepared and take the Karma actually. Although they don't need to, even though it's a flex, but I guess they'll take it and give Golden Glue a counter pick by the looks of things.
Yep, I mean, Karma, you want to grab that one early because it's possible to flex it into a mid lane for Keen. So they don't want to let Team Dignitas steal that one away.
Forgot about that, so good pick up there. Certainly something that Dig could have still taken, despite taking their bottom lane very early in the draft. Dignitas still will have to show their hand. Syndra seems like a relatively obvious pick, but I mean, there is something like Echo. I know that's in Golden Glue's range as far as champions go, and looks like Keen gonna make it 3 games straight on the Orianna, and that's Jarvan for Sunday. Love seeing this more aggressive towards for him. Jarvan's been a little hit or miss, but when it looks good, it looks really good.
And so there are a lot of people that are talking about, oh, Dad, they don't really like Jarvan or whatever right now. He is literally the most picked top laner in competitive play across all regions, or at the very least was yesterday. And I think he performs quite well, and even is slightly flexible as far as putting him into the jungle. It's definitely a bit worse there because he benefits from levels quite well. But someday, it seems like a good mix for him. Build a bit bruisery and still have the possibility of jumping to that back line to get big combos. And they do want to focus on Syndra and Caitlyn because this is a 2-carry team composition from Team Liquid. Which means that, yes, they'll have a stronger front line that can charge at you, but if you take out either of the carries, or even take out a large chunk of their health, then it becomes very difficult for that team to win a team fight. And if you have a lot of guaranteed dive of the obvious combination Orianna Shockwave plus Jarvan dunking, it's something you definitely have to position around.
It should be really fun to watch as coaches are going to shake hands after the final draft of both these teams' weekends, actually. I think Dig definitely a lot of good setup. If they land their chain combos, they'll look good, but Liquid have a lot of ways to break it up.
Yeah, Big definitely had some big performances in the last game with his flanking there on Zyra, getting in with the flash engages. A lot of pretty crucial routes for the team. So CC, again, advantage in the bottom lane for Team Dignitas. And our eyes will be on the junglers. Chaser subbing in for the final game here in our series.
And on to Elise as well, a champion that Shrimp made waves with in game number 1. In fact, Elise has won every game in this series. So we'll see if the blue side, Elise first pick, is going to bear any fruit, and if Dig can stay, again, undefeated after 2 weeks of play, or if Team Liquid will pick up their first series, you know what, would be a nice upset for them. Definitely a hard-fought battle against Dig, not letting it go away without at least taking a game.
Definitely true. They had to work hard for it, but in the end, were rewarded. This time around, it's Team Liquid coming out again. 5-man bottom.
Yep, and no checks here. Not going to check the bush first. No one hit, so now going to move through the jungle. Likely going to keep going for the invade. Actually wrapping around, hoping somebody's sitting in the bottom side, but now Dig all of those pings. Yeah. And no Zyra to be found. So good defensive posturing there from Big.
Just like last time, Team Liquid wanted to catch the Zyra and grab her first blood, but haven't seen it happen in such a long time. And every time they do that, Team Dignitas get the slight information advantage. You see the Raptor ward there, very common. Olaf, you'll usually assume, will be starting his own blue buff without a pull. It's always nice to have confirmation, though, that he didn't start the Raptors because he can as well have a flexible route there.
And you can see Rainover actually hiding away, but will be walking back towards his buff. And Chaser, as expected, is starting on those Raptors with a bit of help from Keen. So things will be pretty normal here as far as early jungle starts go. And kind of looking to see if Rainover can control Chaser early on. We've seen Elise can get very aggressive and gank lanes early, even go into the enemy jungle and invade. But Rainover is so good at tracking other junglers. That's what he was known for on the Olaf, on the Rek'Sai. So we'll see what he can do here as Piglet gets a little cheeky.
Gotcha. Good harassment here early on in the lane phase for Piglet. Absolutely blasting Big and gets a potion out of him super early on.
Sunday also going toe-to-toe with Lolo, but seems like Jarvan a little bit better at level 1, perhaps. Oh, nice body slam. Lolo actually going to win the back end of that trade. Maybe misspoke. Corrupting Potion helping Someday, and they might just keep going for this. Could be a very aggressive start to top lane.
Yeah. Gets in with the spear extender there. Speaking of back end, Someday always focuses on the push, though. So early, like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, he's always pushing those first couple waves to try and get that advantage in his matchup. Experience advantage is his. He got the early level 2. Wants to force those minions under turret to kind of force CS misses. And then that opens you up to warding the enemy jungle. He goes again for this deep Krug ward super early on. Chaser, though, will walk over Reignover's most recent ward.
Nice stun there from Golden Glue. Keen only level 2. Matt's actually roamed up here as well, but Keen running over to his strong side. And now Chaser is actually invading for that red, but I think they might know something.
Yeah, Reignover's going to go check him.
Yep, does check. Good cocoon, though. Chaser lands in, and now Reignover knows what's up. Golden Glue roaming up first. The TL kind of first to respond to this play. Assist pings there, but Lola can't make it just yet. Reignover now going to start fighting Chaser, but Golden Glue is here. Repel back over. Stun, he's going to miss it. Hits Keen on the other end as Chaser flashes. First ball, though, they are going to go all in for it, and Chaser is low. First ball over to go over to Reignover, sorry. Now he has double bust to force Keen's flash on Lolo. Even chasing down Sunday. Oh, my God! He throws the body set. Flashes over. Blasco, though, he's going to save Someday.
Oh, man, Lorlo with... Oh, Matt throws up. He continues his roam actually from earlier and finds the kill with his Ignite Flash. Chaser gets substituted in, goes for the invade with an Olaf. Uh-oh, okay, well, let's see if Golden Glue can walk his way down. He didn't see the teleport.
No, Someday, level 3, Golden Glue's got no mana and almost no health. Someday should be able to get himself a freebie. And there it is.
All right, so that was quite a bit of action. During that whole time, in the bottom lane, it was 2 versus 1. You can see Piglet did lose out on some CS, but you don't mess with Olaf early on. Reignover is happy to take this fight. Big chunk there onto Chaser, and Golden Glue had the first roam. It was a good flash by Chaser to get out of the stun, but they still lose the 2 versus 2. Golden Glue roam first, and Olaf has the advantage there in the 1 versus 1. And then Lorlo has a very nicely timed body slam there. But again, they both flash over to the blast cone, and Someday still survives by using the blast cone. So in the end, the flashes were traded evenly, even though Lola had a very good outplay initially. The final kicker there, though, was, of course, Matt.
Yeah, and you can see Reignover actually just continuing to extend his lead. Got the double buffs refreshed nice and early, so he's now looking to the bottom lane. Actually might turn things around here, or sums up. Log gets tagged. Gonna try and turn it back around. Just keep poking. Lod, though, holds on to his flash. All right.
Oh, now Piglet is it.
Just a visit. Actually, Chaser's down here as well. And Piglet, yeah, already going to get snared up. Big trying to flash out of the way. Reignover now has to revisit, but Piglet did live through that little onslaught. Lod, no sums left as Matt's going to try and chase him back down. Headshot from Piglet. Piglet does grab it. And the early game's looking great for Team Liquid.
Yeah, headshot tag there. I don't know what caused Dignitas to really think that Reignover was completely gone. He had just left the area.
Oh no, big tag by 2 slows. Piglet gets another kill.
That was so curious. Reignover was literally just here like 5 seconds ago. Goes into the fog of war for a second, and Lod and Dig decide, it's 2v2 now. We're gonna go for this kill. Anyways, that did not go as planned.
No, that went horribly.
Reignover returns down. They get 2 kills. They get all the summoners out. They get the first turret gold. Woo! Team Liquid coming out with fire again.
I mean, they have a 3,000 gold lead at 6 minutes. And we have seen Liquid have their leads whittled away from them before, but this is just such a great setup.
All right, so all right, Olaf. Ha! Nice gank, dude. Big deal. All right, Olaf's gone. He's totally gone right now. It's not even 5 seconds. It's literally 2 seconds. He's gone. And then Reignover's like, wait a second, I'll be right back. Here we go. Everybody flash forward. Easy skill shots landing, giant minion wave, and there he goes, dead. Interesting.
And then Big sticks around, gets himself tower dove, and Liquid get a double on this play. I mean, like, what are you doing here?
I feel like Team Dignitas do not respect Olaf at all. Chaser goes for the early invade. What's Reignover gonna do? Oh, he's gonna beat you down. Then bottom lane, they're like, all right, he's out of the lane, out of sight, out of mind. Chaser's on the way. He's gonna have our back, right? But big punishes all over the place here, and Reignover is absolutely smashing. Now he's 2 levels above Chaser on Olaf, who already can do whatever he wants in the 1 versus 1 jungle matchup. Now he can absolutely just take over any side of the map that he walks to.
And it's getting worse, because the first Drake in this game is Infernal Drake. So when the enemy jungler is really far ahead, TL should feel pretty empowered to try and go after it. And all of that happened, if it's someday teleporting to the early game, means that Lolo also has a 20 CS lead in the matchup where he's likely pressured early. I mean, triple Dorans now finished for Gragas, Rainover stealing away the red buff. Mid's even, so they have control of top, control of bot side, and mid's doing just fine. Like, this is exactly what TL wanted. I mean, it's insane. I mean, credit to Liquid for playing a great early game. Matt had that good run. Piglet was able to take that CS deficit, and now Lolo's diving mid.
Oh, disappointed Pastry.
No
maybe
flash
more
for King.
disappointed
Golden Glue
too.
gonna look for it. Ulti good from King. Golden Glue not taking turret though. He's gonna get the kill. Nice dive there from Lolo.
I have to say, the early leads, like, Team Liquid are just absolutely using them so effectively, snowballing this out of control. Top lane now roaming down to mid because Keen's flash still not back up. That's good cooldown tracking from Golden Glue and Team Liquid as they call Lorlo down for the dive, execute the dive. They know that they can then walk into the red quadrant because Rainover was just there. He's king of the jungle, and he's got vision everywhere, so Infernal Drake is pretty easy for them to grab as well. Absolute stomp in the early game here. All right, Golden Glue sets it up with a stun, and then Lorlo wrapping right around Keen. As soon as Golden Glue steps up that far, he knows it's coming, but it's too late. There's no flash still on him, so not able to answer back. Good shockwave attempt, but Lorlo was already there tanking the turret, so there you go. Team Liquid blasting the early game. This is even more out of hand than the last game.
Yep, and Infernal number 1 went over to TL, and Infernal number 2 is coming right up as a reward for their good early game play. I mean, Rainover, this is the kind of play we used to see from him where he just took over a game from the jungle, and he's set up to do so now. Even Piglet's playing catch up in CS, doesn't seem too bothered by the fact that Matt left his lane, and when these champions get ahead, I mean, Piglet's going to have a lot of space to really farm to the late game, and Olaf, Gragas, and Syndra are just going to take over the early and mid game.
Oh, yeah. Syndra into Orianna. Already the Orianna is scared about the 100%. But with Olaf there to also threaten dives, there's not much room for Keen to work with. And it's going to be kind of difficult for him to CS while not getting harassed in this mid lane. Rainover should just turn pressure into overdrive. Super deep wards from now on. Constantly take over the jungle. It's exactly what they are doing. And using Piglet to perma push on the 2-0 Caitlyn as well.
They're even contemplating a tower dive here, which I don't mind too much. Lolo does have his TP, so does some days, so top laners can answer. They've actually just spotted Lolo on the Dignitas side, moving down towards mid once more. So decent defensive vision, but this tower looking to go down, and Dignitas just don't really have an adequate response.
Yeah, I like it from Team Liquid. They're like, okay, you're going to hand us this much of an advantage? Just going to continue to smash you with it. Another turret goes down. 2 turrets in the bottom lane down at 10 minutes into the game for Team Liquid.
And the gold lead just keeps on coming. They're over 5,000 gold ahead at 10.5 minutes. As Chase is trying to steal a few camps here and there. Someday, not even, oh, is level 8, excuse me. I thought he was level 5 somehow. That would have been quite ridiculous. Lolo instead. Monoglam. Just going to clean up this wave and continue pressuring towards that top side. Looks like Piglet actually is going up there, so TL to say, you know what, we can keep sieging and Dig, trying to take the Rift Toe away, but even Lolo's moving down to check that every little thing is being kept track of.
What are you doing? You think you can take an objective on this map? Team Liquid rotate their duo up top side. This Caitlyn we already mentioned 2-0, so Piglet is off to a dream start here. Do that little bottom lane situation, we'll call it, I guess.
It was certainly a situation. This is Rainover back towards his top side. Yeah, Chase is going to get moved out of here. Ward over.
Slap. No slap? Okay.
Rainover's busy walking past the other wards and making until the siege happens. Matt going to get his own vision down, and we can't see 2 members of TL. But this turret looking to go down. I don't know why Sunday's trying to defend.
I like this Dignitas vision right now because you're down this much. It feels really bad to play the game from this perspective. You know, almost 12 minutes into the game, and Team Liquid already have a 4,000 gold lead with double Infernal Drakes on the way. You're playing versus the perma push of Caitlyn and Karma. You're playing a bad matchup in the mid lane where Syndra not only already should have, kill pressure on Orianna, but also already has been successful in it. And then your bottom lane situation is, that turned poorly as 2 of your turrets are already gone. So there's really no area of the map for Team Dignitas to mount their comeback from. And it has to really come from someone from Team Liquid being out of position, maybe hoping for an Ash Arrow landing on the right target. That is not Olaf, by the way, who will just immune it. And, you know, looking to come back that way. Right now, it's farm for late, boys.
Yep, I mean, already kind of in a dire situation. Third turret goes over to TL. They take the top lane outer turret. Lolo throws the ulti just in case.
Yeah, I don't need this.
That's how far ahead he is. Throwing it away.
Exactly. Think we need ultimates?
Giving away free beer. Lolo on to Chaser. Actually,
Whoa.
level 10 to level 3.
He's going to take the 1v.
Lolo, a little too far forward. Chaser.
Wait, I did need that. My bad.
He did want it. A little too aggressive moving through the jungle with no vision. TL had all their pressure on the top side, so big old oopsie there for Lolo, but only some gold back into the hands of Dignitas.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you're playing a game and you have, you know, quote-unquote oopsie like that, and everyone on your team is like, whatever, man. We're far enough ahead that it's not that big a deal. You go kill yourself. It's okay, I guess. I meant that in game.
I know.
I realized that could have come out as flame. That was not flame. That's just...
It's okay, but don't do it again.
The in-game. Yeah, all right. Anyways, there's Lolo going to take the blind fight versus Chaser. Holy moly, that was a bad one.
That's about an accurate summary, but TL again going to continue moving their pressure where it needs to be. Infernal Drake back up in 20 seconds, so that should be theirs. Given the control of the map they have, going to move Piglet into that mid lane with a finished Infinity Edge at 14 minutes. And Golden Glue is going to go ahead, take his blue buff, and on the way to level 11 pretty quickly. So all the power really where it needs to be. Lolo's got his TP, someday can join as well. But Dignitas aren't really in a position to do any sort of fighting. Still down about 5,000 gold, but they are going to force around the area, or at least clear some vision out, although TL can see they're likely not on the Drake.
Teleport available for Lorlo. He could come down. Team Dignitas pretty bold about going for Infernal Drake number 2.
Yep, now actually on the Drake, so TL going to force them off using that TP. Somebody already roamed down, so he'll have his global. And well, it doesn't have flash, unfortunately, so can't really make a big initiation. And TL might be trading this for a Tara. Not sure
Why would
I
they
like
be
it
giving
that
this
much.
up?
I mean, now it's resetting, so just buying some time. Piglet is in the mid lane, getting the wave shoving towards the tower. Not sure I like it too much. Dragon didn't reset fully.
All right, Piglet has joined. They're not giving it up. They may go for the smite fight and then take the fight.
Oh, gonna smite away, but it does go over to Chaser. Somebody gets a triple knock-up at Syndra. Let's loose with the auto, and Kane's already killed Piglet, though. As Someday does go down to Syndra.
Successful wombo there from Team Dignitas, but they only got 1-for-1 trade out of it. Huh. All right, well, they won the smite fight, so Team Dignitas are able to get the Infernal Drake for themselves, and they're still, you know, in a pretty big hole. But that was a pretty nice wombo to be able to get the kill onto Piglet.
Yeah, a little odd, but I guess Golden Glue just hadn't spent his gold, maybe. Like, it's hard to think of the exact reason why they didn't want to go, but it seemed like a fight they should have picked. Instead, they trade Infernal Drake, holding the snowball for a little while longer.
All right, take another look at this. And they're happy to actually go for a 50-50, which Team Thrash, even though Team Liquid have such a big lead, and then they all walk into the Shockwave. Team absolutely nails them into the combo with Someday. And 1-for-1 trade plus winning the smite is very, very good as far as, you know, Team Dignitas trying to play from behind. They, again, make a decent move.
Golden Glue looking, but not going to get the blue buff. That goes over to Kane as they put some vision down. They will get the mid-outer turret, so again, they still got a very hefty gold lead they can kind of lean on here. Weirdly, Golden Glue still hasn't spent his money, so he's going to have to do that after this particular push. I feel like TL kind of misplaying with their lead a little bit here, but a nice double stun from Golden Glue does secure the turret for Team Liquid. And again, they're still really far ahead in this game.
Definitely true. Have to keep that in mind, but kind of like last game, those plays that do go over to Team Dignitas, got to be very careful about how much you are giving up, right? The gold lead from early on was, again, it's at that stage where you're playing this game and you're like, we are so far ahead, it's possible to make mistakes and for people to, you know, die in the jungle or whatever, and it's not that big of an issue because our gold lead was so big early. But you definitely have to be careful, especially as you get further and further into the game, about team fight situations, because the possibility of those wombos are very real. And we saw Team Dignitas, you know, almost pull off multiple kills in that last one.
I mean, if the game had been closer, might have been a complete disaster. Lolo gets out of the body slam. Ulti. Oh, that's the boost for Chaser back in.
Dodge.
Lolo not able to get that down, but good damage onto Chaser. He's going to move in there with the repel. Someday looking for another knockup. Lawler's trying to buy some more time. He'll help back up, but not enough time, and Someday does get a kill.
Nice flash there from Chaser to get to the other side of the Gragas ultimate, thereby using it to help him get closer to Lorlo and secure themselves a kill.
Yeah, nice move there from Chaser. Although did not misposition it, but Dignitas with that kill actually a priority on this mid lane and the bottom lane. TL trying to close the trap, I think, but it's actually a 3v3. And Dignitas definitely have positioning here. Gonna back up for now. Syndra back towards that bottom side of the map. Golden Glue looking to return pressure onto another tier 2 turret. Dignitas pinging for assistance, gonna try and defend it.
Yep, Golden Glue keeping up his split put Syndra here on the bottom side while the Rift Herald is starting up, but Lorlo does not have teleport anymore, and Team Dignitas have been, not willing to give anything up. They are still fighting. Even as disastrous as that early game went, Team Dignitas are keeping up the fight, and they've done actually a very good job of fighting this well from behind.
And you can see now Dig actually been pinging onto the Rift Herald. TL go for it, pull away because they don't feel confident enough in their setup, and now Dignitas are just going to start it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little while to get kill, but Dignitas have 4 people here, so they probably will be able to burn it down before Team Liquid get back out onto the map. And another objective goes Team Dignitas' way. Down 4 turrets, down massive gold. They continue to strike back.
And the gold lead really does just feel like the turret difference at this point. So as soon as Dignitas start taking structures, if TL are able to kind of get control back of the map and really keep their snowball moving, this gold lead's kind of a little deceptive at this stage, and it just does feel like Liquid aren't doing as much as they could. And like you said, like you can make mistakes when you're ahead, but you can also really open up again when you're ahead. And doing one versus the other, I know which one I'd rather have. And TL just feels like they're a little bit uncomfortable despite the lead they have.
Yeah. Kind of feels similar to last game. Have a bit of a cautionary tale, even when you do get a lead. Someday now going for the 1v1 with Golden Glue.
The number of plays they're willing to make. Chaser is going to move it back in. Good dodge of the Cocoon. Had to burn the heal, though.
Now they've got reinforcements.
See if they can turn this back around into a play. Rainover ready to go. Good slow there onto Somebody's going to try and get out. Flag and drag. Traps him in the Cataclysm. And poor Ola.
Nice escape there, Mr. Houdini. Able to lock up the enemies in Cataclysm. Flag and drag right out. Someday secures the escape for him as well as Chaser.
It's been a little while since I've seen the interaction, but Olaf Jarvan's always been a problem for Olaf. Especially because Rainover has opted for Ghost.
It's one of those super old matchups where you also be like, oh, some people even consider taking Flash on Olaf when you're versus Jarvan just to get out of the ult. And you're like,
which feels bad.
Really? That feels super bad. But then you see these types of things like, oh, yeah. that also sucks.
Well, Dignitas again. Good defensive play here. It's kind of kept them in this game. TL again still a huge gold lead and a map lead more than anything else. See what they do around this Ocean Drake, spawning in about 15 seconds. So they'll have most of their cooldowns ready. Golden Glue without summoners, but everyone else is ready to go. And Piglet is still getting stronger. I have felt this sense of inevitability with this Caitlyn build that people are doing, because it's not even just like Caitlyn scales super well into the late game. Like when you start sieges with those 3 items, she just takes pot shots at you or your minion wave, and you lose in both those situations.
Definitely is scary right now. And this Caitlyn, I mean, Piglet is already off to the kind of crit multiplier stage of the build. 8,100 gold for himself, the most gold in the entire game, and almost 2,000 above Lot here on the Ashe. So definitely getting into dangerous territory. But Team Dignitas do strike back. Topside Rift Herald usage does get them a turret. Nice. They continue the split push.
Nice trade after TL have actually taken the Ocean Drake fight. Tier 2 mid will fall to TL because, again, they have the lead on the map. Keen still pushing down, though.
Yeah, they want to trade turrets because, they're down 4,000 plus gold and would like to trade objectives to make that difference mean a bit less. So they've opted to keep Keen up there, and looks like he'll be able to get out scot-free. So another, decent trade here for Team Dignitas. Because they were able to utilize the Rift Herald.
Yeah, King can't stay, unfortunately, but looks like Golden Glue is going to go. Can you pick it up? I might not find out. Pick it up! Oh, I don't think you can. Maybe. You can't pick up Baron, so I don't think you can, or Dragon, so I don't think you can pick up Rift Herald.
Yeah, I've never tried, but getting that money off the minions. Success for himself.
Stopping the siege in top side
Patience
as well.
like, that's the first thing I'm going to do after we finish.
Exactly.
casting the game."
Gonna go to the practice to see if I can lift the Rift Turret with Syndra. I doubt I can, but
She is definitely a large beast.
I think Syndra has enough power.
You can't lift other epic monsters.
No.
I don't know if she's considered epic. I would think so.
I mean, given how much damage does the turrets, I'd say pretty epic, but again.
You know what? I'm going to say no.
Okay.
She's considered epic, so you can't pick her.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Kobe. These are the important things I need to know.
I mean, it's kind of deceptive because she walks around and you're like, oh, she's the only one you really see outside of her spawn zone. You're like, dragons makes sense. You're never going to pick those up. They'll just fly away or something. But Riftfield, it seems like, lore-wise might be the case. But yeah, game-wise, epic monster, can't throw him.
All right, well, TL, lead's kind of shortened, actually. Dignitas doing a nice job again, trading that gold away and kind of shortening that lead to about 3,000 gold up for TL. They're still up, of course, and Caitlyn now with the static shift means that TL can still play aggressive. Golden Glue is sticking to the sideline strategy. It's not Talia, but still getting wave shoved in while the rest of his team pressures mid and bot lane. It's definitely a symptom of a team that is still far ahead in the game and trying to take as much map as they can. Keen almost blows up to the ace in the hole plus unleash power, but light power should fall here if they can make the wave happen. No minions left. Here's the wave, but it's a little too late.
Teleport ward up on the top was pinged, but it's definitely going to be dangerous. Again, I think they should opt for a trade here. Team Dignitas, just keep someday split pushing. Don't go for that teleport ward. Okay, they do let it time out. They do trade the turrets here. And the outer turrets are worth also more gold than the inner turrets. The further in towards the Nexus you get, the less and less reward you actually get for killing those turrets. So Team Dignitas, happy to make trades, happy to get some gold back for themselves while not kind of losing out or letting the gold gap actually increase.
And I think TL kind of highlighting the right thing to defend, running back down mid, hoping Dig unable to shove down the mid turret there. Looks like Lawler's going to deal with Sunday's minion wave that he crashed in towards the bottom lane after taking the outer turret. Now Baron going to get some vision around for Dignitas. But once more, just really solid defensive play here from Dig. And it does feel like they're on top of a lot of the macro level things as a team. Both went ahead, we saw in game 1, and then behind in both game 2 and now game 3.
Yeah, let's see what Team Liquid can actually do to keep up the pressure here, because another Infernal Drake is on the way. Neutral objective control here should be theirs still for the mid game. Piglet is absolutely massive right now on Caitlyn. I mean, there's so much money funneled into Caitlyn. It's his full offense. He's getting very close to the next, rapid fire cannon being built for himself, and a large amount of damage can possibly come out. Again, though, it's a double carry team, right? They only have Golden Glue and Piglet that are putting out large portions of damage, so you have to position away from wombo combos and going right over.
He's been trapped again. Gonna have to get out. Finally pops the Ragnarok as Keen uses the shockwave, so nice little escape there from the Olaf as Golden Glue's looking for the flank. Lolo finds one at slot. He flashed out of the way, but Lolo still going to keep him tied up. Great arrow though onto Lod as they turn it back around and slay Golden Glue. Lod does die on the other end to Lolo.
Yeah, a bit messy there. A lot of ultimates used on the Olaf, and he's able to pop the Ragnarok and get out of there. But then Golden Glue's flank just gets completely nullified by Lod, Ash Arrow, Chaser with the Cocoon. Oh, it's going to be an early Baron here. They did use the Scrying Orb.
Nope, it's all done. One little blue trinket there, and Team Liquid do smartly pull away. Infernal Drake also to think about in a minute's time, so TL, I think, testing Dig there more than anything else, but they passed pretty easily as we'll watch this exchange again.
Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of control wards, so worth a shot. Here we go, though. 2 big ultimates used on Reignover Olaf, who just runs out, and then Team Dignitas all caught here. Lorlo gets in onto Lod. Right before Lod dies, though, he's able to land his stun onto Golden Glue. And actually, Chaser's Cocoon went wide on a stunned target. He didn't expect him to still be stunned or something and shot his Cocoon to the side, predicting more movement. Didn't end up mattering as they killed Golden Glue within the Ash Arrow stun, but
we'll call it insurance in case Lod was going to miss.
Yeah.
As Golden Glue able to take the Grump and the blue buff for himself. Almost level 16. So powering up nicely on the Syndra, but we have to look at Piglet here again. 2, 1, and 2, and the 3 major items are completed. This is kind of where it starts feeling really impossible.
All right. Team Liquid need to protect Piglet. Dignitas have 2 Banshee's Veils in Chaser and Keen, though. try and open up some space for the team to work with. Sunday's always looking for the Jarvan initiation onto Piglet with the Orianna Shockwave ready.
Renova chasing him down though. Renova actually gets the advantage. Now they're going to go in for the fight. Does get a stun there. Lot actually gets it down, but Kane already does. So Lolo tries to shockwave, but it's not quite enough as the ulti is used by Syndra onto Sunday. A big chunked out Piglet gets a snipe. And that's 2 quick ones for TL, although Renova is going to be the one left on the other side. But TL's still going to start the Drake.
Yeah, they don't have Smite though, and Chaser, you know, there's a possibility of stealing an Infernal. At this stage in the game, I would sacrifice my life to steal an Infernal, but it's very risky. Even with Smite down, there's a lot of damage on Team Liquid that you have to out-Smite. Often people kind of tunnel on objectives and they're like, oh, no Smite for the enemy team. True damage is not the only damage that can kill Drakes, and there's a lot of bursts still left in the rest of Team Liquid, so they don't go for it. I have to say though, Rain over here absolutely annihilates Keen and sets up Lorlo for a really good Gragas knockback to ensure this Orianna is out of the fight right before it even starts pretty much. Doesn't get much off. Even though, you know, Rainover has to run all the way through the fight, his job was accomplished.
Certainly was. Had a great early game. Looking good in these kind of mid-game team fights also. And even though Chaser dished out a massive amount of damage in that last team fight, you can see just how strong Piglet is. Even able to pick off a couple of targets. That wasn't even him free-firing constantly throughout a fight. And still just got the one snap that TL needed to feel enough confidence to take down that Drake. And now with the QSS, I mean, Piglet is set up for every single exchange at this point. And these squishies, I mean, there's not even really a true tank on Dignitas. Someday will be the tankiest member, but Chaser has gone full damage as well. Now building a little bit of armor with that Giant Spider alongside the Chain Vest. But every pot shot's going to count here for Piglet.
Yep, tank advantage definitely in Team Liquid's favor. And just full steam ahead, as we saw before, just charge into the back line and grab one of the squishies. Right now, Team Liquid kind of nursing their lead. It's still sitting around that 4,000 mark. Baron Vision, though, is really the next crucial objective to fight over.
Yeah, they've got a very clear plan here. It feels like Golden Glue constantly pressuring sideways, getting himself a farm lead. Although Jigger actually is going to start Baron, so now TL going to be put to the test, but spotted pretty quickly. Good collapse started by Liquid, and that should force Dignitas off the objective.
A little bit of a flank coming from Lorlo as well as he goes through the red jungle.
All right, does spot Sunday though. Piglet thought he might have been in some danger, but has his team behind him. Lorlo's got the way pushing him bot side, so maybe now it's TL's turn to either bait or start the Baron.
Bait is probably it, even though there's a little bit of vision inside that Baron pit. It looks like for Team Dignitas. Now it's black. There we go.
Very dark, fortunately for Dig.
Aha! Illuminated.
Oh,
Piglet
helping out.
Goes forward with the net here.
He does love doing that. Oh, knock up onto Sunday, gets back into the team. Actually cataclysmed onto Lolo and gets himself out once more. Very tricky.
He's so low though. He's gonna have to teleport back into the fight if Team Dignitas want any chance of taking a victory here. He's going back to the base now to heal up. Team Liquid can just return to the Baron, bait it with their true sight. Piglet can line up some extra traps here. Hawkdot does get a little bit of a sight on them as they camp the brush.
Vision's faded now though, and you can see instant. I'm heading here, pings for TL.
Hawkdot times out. Team Liquid start up the Baron. Here we go. Is there going to be a ward for Someday to teleport on?
King does have his trinket. Oh, Piglet QSS off the arrow real smooth. As King's looking for that shockwave. Lolo, they're going to chase him down. They need to get a kill if they can. Instead, they'll reset with the redemption. Lolo tanks the cocoon in the front line as Keen still trying to find the angle.
And Someday actually hasn't joined yet. He's still down bottom side. Dig
Big force to flash. Keen again just trying to run interference with that ball, but TL clear the wave out, got top pushing. They can deal with Sunday later. They're going to go back to Baron.
Again, Caitlyn traps around these Baron baits are so annoying to deal with.
Dig, oh, bit of a fake check. Keen actually the real offender as Big goes down to Golden Glue. Easy solo there for the Syndra. Sunday actually I think have to TP back in as Chaser does get one kill. Piglet actually ulted up by Key, but it's not quite enough damage, and now Chaser just gonna get picked off. Piglet not quite enough damage, but he's healing so much as Chaser just on the escape.
What an escape! I thought he was gonna go over to the Raptor pit, but he gets out through the turret. Meanwhile, so many health bars chunked low that Team Liquid still, even though they give up the kill on Golden Glue, back to the Baron, and they have so much pressure here It's only Someday. You know, Lod's trailing, but he's very far away.
Has to be careful. Piglet gonna need some defense here if Someday wants to go aggressive, trying to trade pot shots back and forth, but needs to stay on the Baron. Rainover with the smite, so this should be there. So Someday is going to go in, trying at least get a kill out of the deal. Baron is low! Oh, he does get it. Smite away there from Rainover. As now Someday still fighting it up, but the rest of Team Liquid are bailing. Rainover could be dead as Someday flash Qs and takes down Matt. Really nice opportunistic play. Dignitas at least get 2 kills.
Yeah, Someday's going to be able to ensure that they do get those 2, flashing for the Q onto Matt, as well as trapping Rainover in his ultimate. And they're getting scrappy. Team Liquid, they are able to bait around Baron and still increase their lead and get the Baron buff, but Team Dignitas, they are fighting from behind and not giving up.
And they've certainly been that way when they have been behind this series, so I have been impressed with how Digger are willing to play both one ahead and behind, but Piglet is still mounting up stronger as I watch this again. Someday did not come. I was incorrect here.
All right, Golden Glue missed the stun onto Big, but then he just flashes in ours. No problem there.
Gameplay!
Then we had Chaser actually get his kill onto Golden Glue and escape with his life due to this blast cone. And that was the kind of ridiculous part, as he didn't have to, you know, die to go over for it. But in the end, Team Liquid did acquire the Baron. Let's see what they can do with it.
Dig took mid outer turret, but TL still looking to do more tower damage of their own. Golden Glue back towards the top side. Gonna get that wave pushing in their favor, and then we should have the setup we've seen all game from Team Liquid. Bit of 1-3-1, get the waves going, and then group and try and siege down the rest of the lanes. TL will need to do damage with this Baron buff, but should have plenty of tools to do so. As Piglet, Mercurial now finished. He is 1 item away from being full, and we'll see what he opts for this time around. Might actually be able to go back to something like the Bloodthirster he had in game number 2, because again, Dig don't really have a tank that he has to be too worried about.
All right, focus here on the Scuttle Crab, as the Ocean Drake might be seeded here. A lot of prep pings are going down for Team Liquid to push on the top side. So how are Team Dignitas going to get back to defend their inhibitor turrets? Right now, they're just kind of walking through their own jungle.
And look at Lolo's actually just kind of 1v2ing. I mean, they'll get the Drake out of the deal, but Lolo able to buy a lot of time here as Chaser and Sun. They do split up. I like that, actually, making sure they can escape. Lolo can't stop them both, but TLR still pushing.
Yeah, and it's a Baroned up Team Liquid, so in exchange for this Ocean Drake, they give alone time with a Baroned up team to their outer turret, or their inhibitor turret, and it does end up going down.
Actually gonna re-push here onto the inhibitor. Golden Glue and Rainover frontlining for now, as Lolo getting the waves pushing into mid lane. Piglet getting those pot shots started. Arrow's gonna miss there from Lod.
Arrow down is pretty big, because Caitlyn C is so annoying. Trap line here does make it a lot safer for them.
And again, Piglet shooting the minions. TL closing the trap. Got 40 seconds left on Baron. Gonna try and sink these waves and at least get 1 inhibitor on this push. Rainover again, posturing forward. Chaser gets chunked by a headshot. Ultimate bent by Zara. Someday dives in onto Golden Glue, actually. They're going to try and protect him. Keen does manage to get it. But Piglet's still alive. That's 1 carry down. TL needs to protect him. Someday charging forward. Has a Guardian Angel. He's trying to do maximum damage. Does get the kill onto Olaf. But Piglet is now going to go down. He gets a shutdown onto Chaser, but dives on the other end to Lord. Now Dignitas take over the team fight. Lolo trying to fight it out, but it's not going to be enough. Someday with the GA revives, and Lord gets a double kill.
Oh my goodness. Someday the hero that Dignitas needs. He gets into position to line up that shockwave onto Golden Glue, the carry number 1, and then is able to dive the backline with his GA to ensure they get the extra kill onto Piglet as well. Let's take a look at the setup here. Big zones them out kind of with his ultimate, but it's all about that flank from Someday, and they delete Golden Glue, making it a 5-on-4 effectively from the very start of it. Then he's like, this is our only chance. You know, I got to continue going with this GA. He gets both the remaining carries in his knockup right next to Piglet, opening up space for all of his DPS, Keen and Lod to follow through.
Maximum value though on the GA from Someday. Incredible play, even used the stone plate at just the right time. I mean, this is kind of the reason why Someday is talked about as such a great top laner. That was a game-saving play for Dignitas.
Great player and big leader for the team as well, leading the charge in that team fight and absolutely destroying Team Liquid here.
Well, game is, I'm going to say effectively back to even. 37 minutes through. 2,000-ish gold up for Team Liquid. And they do have that Drake lead, but Dig managed to get an Ocean and an Infernal themselves, so not too far behind on total count. And TL with a rarely seen negative Baron power play. Couldn't even take that inhibitor in top lane.
Someday as well, almost going to Flame Horizon Lorlo in the matchup as Jarvan now pushing mid. Almost maxed out on items and ready for another of those combos. Ash Arrow still available. Laud now level 16 as well, so cooldown getting a bit easier to manage.
Well, Dig moving dark through the left-hand side of the jungle. Baron up in 135. Elder Dragon not up for quite a while, so things will calm down for a little while longer. Someday, though, just going at it every single lane, every single fight. TP back up for him. GA is halfway cooled down. And the rest of his team is getting stronger. Dignitas have shown a lot of grit holding on this whole series when they have been behind. Game 1, they looked great. Game 2, they fell behind and didn't quite manage to close out the moments they had versus Liquid. And Liquid, again, had such an incredible lead to begin this game, and it may all trickle away once more.
Yeah, you can say that again. Last game, though, in game number 2 of the series, they were able to pull it back after it looked like they were going to lose their 10,000 gold lead. They still managed to pull it out. This time around, though, Someday just seems like he is a man on a mission. And it definitely makes a lot of sense that they're waiting for his GA to come back up before they fight again, because they would definitely want to have 2 Somedays for the next fights, as it worked out quite well in the first.
One's pretty good, 2 even better. There's no need to do too much, at least until the major objectives are back. Baron up in 25, could prompt more action. Lolo's still getting things going in that bottom side. He has his teleport. Someday they're looking for a play. It's onto a control ward. Does sweep it
Boom!
out.
He got that sucker dead on sight.
Get a lot of attack speed from that Jarvan banner, so able to take that up pretty comfortably. Lolo looking for a flank, tries to fight Big. Big's got the team. Backing onto it, could be a 4v5 soon. Big does get all his cooldowns out. No snipe there as Chaser does tank the Caitlyn ultimate. Big lives this time.
I think the Dignitas still would like to wait. The GA a quarter cooldown left, but the Olaf ultimate's down.
Oh my god, Piglet, huge play. Actually does take Biggest Chaser. Flashes forward to try and take it down, but Golden Glue gets him. Somebody needs to look for a flank, but Lot and Keen are running for their lives. The carry's so low, and Keen's got no ultimate. Raynor is going to chase him down. Lot is looking to be dead here as Golden Glue does get the ulti to secure the kill. Keen still getting chased. Should die here to Rainover and Matt. And Liquid at shutdown and 4 kills.
Oh, Big with a pretty bad mistake there. Flanks on the outside. Now, he's one of the big voices, one of the big shot callers from the team, but it looked like Someday had already backed off and they were going to wait for it. Big re-engages without his flash on Zyra, gets annihilated by Piglet. That might be the game.
All right, Someday looking again. Can he be the big hero? He's bought us Rock Horn to try and buy time. Again, traps him in the Cataclysm, gets his way out. Still with a flash, but no ultimate as Team Liquid are looking to end the game. Dignitas' undefeated streak could end right here as Liquid take down the Nexus and pick themselves up their first win of the summer.
Well, it was close in the end. Last 2 games for Team Liquid, they get these big advantages and are able to take the first series win for themselves. Back on the right road.
And very impressive, given how game 1 looked. If you look all the way back to the start of the series. Bit of relief there for Liquid as they will go shake hands after a victory over Team Dignitas. But again, I mean, Dignitas were in complete control of game 1. It just felt like they were going to sweep and keep that 4-0 record intact. Golden Glue, big smiles on his face, moves by the camera. You can see Lola kind of breathing out there. I was like, okay, we did it. I got Flame Horizon. Someday messed my team up.
But I have to say, a lot of credit due to Rainover's early game. The Olaf was absolutely massive. They killed Chaser on the invade, then he went bottom lane. They got those 2 return kills after the bottom lane went super aggressive, and they built up Piglet on this Caitlyn. Extremely massive DPS source.
I mean, yeah, Piglet just kind of took over the game via item build more than anything else. You can see Someday packing up. Chaser, unfortunately, not enough to kind of push the team over the edge in that final game. I mean, can't really question the substitute. Both Chaser and Shrimp are great players. Just full credit there as David Lim all smiles behind Piglet. his team just did great things here to try and pull their first win. Like, I mean, it's not pretty. Like, Liquid haven't had an excellent start to the split by any means, but you can see the improvement game to game. And even yesterday, winning their first game, now winning their first series, the improvement is palpable even early on the split, which is great because our story last spring was parity and seemed to have some parity returning.
Also, remember, this is a 3-0 Dignitas. This is a big upset victory for Team Liquid. They are 0-3 coming into this match. This is one of the most lopsided, if you just look at the early scores and kind of remove strength of schedule and everything like that. Team Dignitas just took down TSM yesterday, and this is a very meaningful win for Team Liquid. They had to work hard for it. There were definitely a lot of moments where you thought that it was going to swing away from them and trickle through their fingers, but they held on and they were able to finish up both of those last two games and pull back the reverse sweep.
I mean, if you think, kind of the arc here for, Golden Glue, and this kind of holds true for the rest of Liquid. I mean, bunch of rough games, not doing too well, then picks up a player of the game in game 2. His first competitive Syndra game ever in the LCS at least. And does okay. It's not like stunning. He didn't take over again like we've seen from maybe Jensen or Bjergsen, but a solid series for him. Even Piglet, little fewer flashes forward, doesn't get himself picked off as much, and just plays a very safe, solid game to help his team close out. And then you mentioned him already, but Rainover, I feel like whenever he's playing well, it's pretty easy for any team he's on to look good, and he's been playing significantly better.
Yeah, I think Rainover is the guy to go for here on Team Liquid. Really outstanding early game for him, and as we said, in that mid-game fight as well, chasing down the back line and able to accomplish mission number 1.
Well, for a first-hand account on that series and the upset, let's check in with Captain Flowers.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm here with Lorlo, and the first question I have got to ask you, likely what's on a lot of Team Liquid fans' minds, how does it feel to get you guys' first series win in Summer Split 2017, especially going up against a team that up until now was undefeated in terms of series losses?
Yeah, it feels really good. Honestly, we came into this week expecting a 2-0 because our practice went really well, and I think we focused on the right things throughout the week, and we definitely improved a ton. And I think it showed, but there's still so much more to improve, and we're going to be looking to do that throughout the weeks.
Now, speaking of improving, speaking of preparing and getting better as time goes on, what about your specific preparation was different this week going into this, knowing you were going to be playing against Someday, who has been having a really good split for himself so far? Was there anything extra you did to prepare for this top lane matchup?
I think I just did what I usually do. I think I just focused on matchups. I think I didn't play as well as I wanted to this weekend, but overall my team picked up my slack and they played really well. I think I was not as confident as I've been in the past, and I think it affected my lane matchups, but I think in the future I'm going to take what I learned from these games and also this weekend and just better myself. Yeah.
Now, speaking of what you guys have learned, what was different this week, and especially this series, that allowed you guys to pick up the win here? What made everything click and work? Was it the communication? Was it just the atmosphere? What did Team Liquid do to flip everything into the own position and find this win?
Yeah, so our comms absolutely sucked. It was probably the worst in LCS by far. That's pretty much what we focused on. Our comms were just complete garbage, and that's what we focused on throughout the whole week. And even not even throughout the whole week. After the loss versus Envy, we just went back, we just watched our games, all 3 of them, and we just okay guys, our comms are absolute shit. Let's fix this now. And then we did that, and I think today it showed a lot because we were just on the same page for most things, even though it seemed a little bit indecisive still. I think we're on the right track for the future.
Well, grabbing that win is definitely the most important part to being on that right track. Starting off now, and we'll have to see if they can continue that throughout the rest of Summer Split. We're going to toss things over now to the analyst desk to take a deeper look.
Thank you very much. Amazing stuff right here. Great cast of the day, great interview on the day, as well as talk about the fact that Team Liquid have themselves a victory. I actually remember before this match started, we were taking bets on the analyst desk over under how many match wins will Liquid get the entire split, and we were saying under 3.5, but week 2 already got one, looking like shaping up faster and faster as time goes on.
It might have been a bad bet for some of us.
Yeah.
I don't know who made that bet. That said, I think
it was you.
You saw some good things here. I think a lot of this was Dignitas over aggression as well, given the fact that they were way too, you have the Olaf pick. That's obviously something that's Rainover's best champion. And they kind of aggressively attacked it early on in a couple different instances, which kind of won't work that well for you. And then I also like seeing Piglet keep just kind of going with Caitlyn. It's a champion that is one of the most lane dominant ones right now, and they really keep forcing with that.
Yeah, absolutely, some really good stuff out of that one. And overall, I mean, I got to say, it's been a fun sort of situation watching Liquid kind of grow over time. It's been very much a team effort right here, and of course, you saw Chaser come in for Game 3, even though I thought Shrimp was playing just fine and actually makes some pretty big mistakes. This invade, obviously, catastrophe.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about, like over-aggressing into the jungle, and then also the fact that Golden Glue had the inside track there. It was mechanically well played on the side of Dignitas to make this a little bit close, but still some horrible ideation on their side. And then they do get a cleanup kill with the teleport, but the damage was kind of done on this point. Reignover swings bottom, and then the bot lane kind of loses their mind here, continuing to trade aggressively, that they don't even win this trade. Reignover's still in the area. Chaser's coming down to protect them from the wave, not to make a gank here, and now his bot lane's already chunked out, blowing flashes aggressively in. Just a horrible decision on the bot lane.
I think they thought they had the kill because Piglet was very far forward with no mana. He'd have to flash to get away, and like it was close to a kill, but as you see, yes, of course, it did backfire. They did go 2-0. I mean, the results dictate clearly it was a misplay. But,
yeah, I mean, Piglet
but
had heal.
see the blood in their eyes, right? Where
I see the blood, and I'm like, yo, get that blood out of your eyes. Piglet has heal. Reignover's still physically in lane. If he needs to flash heal towards Reignover, you never get that kill. It was a terrible decision on their end, and it baited them into basically kind of losing the game because that was instantly a 3K gold deficit.
Right, and Liquid are running with a ton of gold. It actually gets closer for a while, though. Dignitas end up actually getting some decent situations throughout the mid game. I think Street Play, those 32 minutes in, Liquid get a Baron, but they're still a very close fight right afterwards.
They definitely struggled to close this game out from where they were. We saw them kind of giving up dragons at different points. This time they get the Baron, but it's forced right in their face. And they know there's no risk of the steal, but they obviously get low during it, have to flash out. Good play by somebody to get the cleanup kill on the Baron-empowered recalling Matt. And then since the Olaf is trapped in the pit, he knows he can kind of leave him there for the rest of his team to play cleanup.
Yeah, still a very close game. And again, it's back and forth, and the questions are still there. Can Liquid really be a cleaner team? You heard Lorlo in the interview say, we focused really hard on fixing our comms. We got to fix this crap, and at least it did convert into a win. And against an undefeated team, by the way. This is 0-3, the team where the sky is falling, versus 3-0. Dignitas actually looking pretty good so far this split. And they actually managed to have eventually convincing win. It was tricky in the mid-game.
There were some mid-game teamfight errors both in Game 2 and Game 3 where they had the lead and they got hit by some big wombos and kind of lost some teamfights from pretty far ahead. But that said, they always bounced back, which was the big thing. It didn't seem to matter that they did lose those teamfights. They eventually found the ones that they needed to win.
Exactly, and that final teamfight's going to be our final replay of this one. Liquid going for the 4-0 to win the game right in the mid lane.
Nice Gragas ultimate to really start this out. They chunk out big, and this kind of baits Dig from thinking that they're a little bit safe now that some of the initiation tools are down. Big walks too far forward, loses vision of them in the brush, and really nice aggressive flash forward here on Piglet onto Big. Oh, you just had actually nets, even easier. Yeah, to save that flash. And after the Zyra is down, the rest of the team kind of panics. They try and get onto Piglet. They're able to get backed up by Team Liquid. Now the fight's split into 3 different directions, and it's an easy chase down for everyone. Golden Glue's going to pick up the Ashe on the far side, while Reignover deals with Keen on the Orianna. And it's once you lose this battle line with a pretty straight front-to-back team fighting team for Dignitas, you're never going to win.
Yeah, you're not going to DPS down an Olaf chasing you out with a Karma Shield on top of them. So you can see, again, this gold graph looks so scary. It cuts up right there where they almost throw. And again, thankfully for Liquid, they managed to pull it back in the end and end the game with more gold than they had before. And hey, good damage out of Piglet right there. That Caitlyn, you were commenting before, it actually was the first time they played Caitlyn Karma all split, was last game in this one. It was the first Caitlyn games to split so far for Liquid, but of course that did work well for them. A victory for Liquid on this one. Getting ahead of ourselves there on that, but
new logo, huh?
New logo, yeah.
The script, you're showing the script.
I mean, they're all the 0-win teams. So apparently, they're going to get a 1 in the column at some point later on, maybe next week or so. But ultimately, player of the game going to Reignover on his Olaf. He did well. He certainly received some over-aggression. I think there's a chance that Chaser thought Olaf gets low in the jungle, but he went for a higher health clear, and he was higher than maybe the Elise expected. They're all high-level jungle things that at a certain point,
for sure,
I'm not sure of. But either way, Chaser thought it was the right idea, and Olaf, Reignover had played it well and turned it all around. So hey, congrats to Liquid.
Yep, great game out of Reignover, given, exploited the mistakes out of Dignitas and then was able to kind of snowball the rest of the game for his team. The objective control was decent, kind of gave away that one dragon, but other than that, he was secure on the smites, which is very important when you're trying to force Baron down some of those situations.
Which is the case when you're jungling against Elise, always pretty good at smiting things away. Now, there's still more LCS action coming up after the break. Phoenix 1 takes the stage against FlyQuest, who apparently already won based on our graphics. You're watching the North American LCS.
Well, you need to watch.
So many bugs.
I'm gonna stay here.
What the fuck?
I'll stay with you, Sam.
Maybe bugs are attracted to good play. I've never seen Faker with a bug problem.
Wait, bug mid?
Go She's dead.
Nice. Push bot.
Does get a stun there. Lord actually gets it down, but Kane already does. So Lolo tries to struggle, but it's not quite enough as the ulti is used by Syndra on the Sunday. A big chunk down. Piglet gets a snipe.
I flank again. I flank.
Okay, nice.
Armor no flash.
Oh my god, Piglet, huge play, actually does take biggest chaser. Flashes forward to try and take it down, but Golden Glue gets him. Liquid take down the Nexus and pick themselves up their first win of the summer.